Humanity sets the agenda.
The time is just gone 20 minutes past 9 a.m. We continue with the show this morning. We'll be with you right until 10 a.m. on News and Views. And it's time now to look at the United Kingdom that has got plans to ban the importation of hunting trophies. Now, what does this mean for South Africa and for Southern African countries? And there are concerns that are being expressed that the Southern African countries could lose billions of dollars as the United States puts this plan into action. And we joined on the line this morning from Bush Xplorers. We're joined by Faizal Essop. Faizal, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you and welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for the opportunity.
Yes, Jazakallah for joining us. Now, this plan on the part of the United Kingdom, now this comes against the background of the importation of hunting trophies, and we know that Southern Africa blessed with many of these species, which includes lions, rhinos, elephants, zebras, and buffaloes, and a huge market for safaris and hunting in general, Faisal.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, Africa is truly a blessed country. We've got the best of everything, weather-wise. Even many people come from around the globe. Many tourists flock to see the big five animals and the beauty and diversity of South Africa. So, alhamdulillah, the conservation industry is a means of income for the country. And when it comes to trophy hunting, well, it's a very sort of 50-50, shall I say, approach. It brings a lot of income. Trophy hunting is, you've heard, one of the major markets is the UK, the USA. It brings in millions of revenue into the country. But many conservationists have been fighting this battle, ongoing battle. There are many endangered species on the list at the moment. So it's a battle between conservation and revenue generation at the moment. So, alhamdulillah, the UK has decided to possibly put this ban on trophy hunting. And I hope other countries follow suit. Many of the other countries like Zimbabwe and Botswana, some countries are actually complaining about it. So it's going to be like a twofold effect. We have to look at the Shell, for example, that's currently happening also. It potentially brings around jobs and revenue into the country, but it destroys the environment. And as an environmentalist and a conservationist, we have to look at the repercussions going forward into the future. So, I mean, it brings a lot of income. I mean, it's a huge market. It's done very secretively due to many people that would be objecting to it. A lot of trophy hunting happens across you. Lions, there's more lions in captivity, for example. Elephants, buffaloes, they're all hunted immensely. And it erodes the population in South Africa and in Africa as a whole. I know Africa has got a lot of golden resources, but it's challenging in that sense. Destroy the habitat, overhunting and quotas. They say they're science-driven and it has no impact on the population, but you can see the number of animals in captivity and the number of animals in the wild. Example, lions. There's more lions in captivity in South Africa than there are in the wild. And these lions are actually grown for fair hunting. And so it's having a dramatic effect on not just the population, but the behavioral pattern of animals as well. So I fully support the ban. I know controlled hunting, the general game is fine, in my opinion. But when it comes to trophy hunting, it's a totally no-go for me. There needs to be drastic fines and punishments implemented by our government. The court needs to set the trend going forward. So I am in fully support of it. Some governments will complain, examples with elephant populations and being a number of overpopulation of elephants and having a negative effect on the environment. I totally disagree. There's opinions on both sides of the scale when it comes to elephant hunting. But for it to be openly be given a green light, it's just going to ask for a rapid time. There's huge challenges when it comes to trophy hunting. If you just have to go into a nature reserve and walk around maybe about a few kilometers diameter, you will find all these little traps. So it's not just general game that's actually hunted. It's trophy hunting. It's a big market. I think an elephant can pick up something from 300,000 to up to 1.2 million rand. Just to give you a value of a rhino horn, also it's about 60 to 70,000 US dollars per kilo. I've repeated at 60,000 to 7 US dollars per kilo, hence the high demand in the meat market. The vein process is currently there. But you know what, if we're going to erode the population, if we don't take steps now, we're not going to see the beauty of this country. I mean, you know, previously the elephant population, the buffalo populations were completely eroded. But somehow or the other, they managed to regrow. Yes, they grow at an immense rate. There is challenges, but you know, these are all man-made interventions that have led to these changing behavior patterns. So, in my opinion, I fully support this UK ban, and I implore other countries to take effect. I implore the South African government to take effect. That's what I can say for now at this point.
Yes. Now, Faisal, also, I think what we've also learned is just to look at the numbers. And we've learned in the last 50 years, there's been something like a 60% decline in wildlife globally. And this obviously means that thousands of these animals are being threatened by international trade. And we also learned about countries like the United States for America, for instance. This is the biggest trophy market, and when one looks at the thousands of trophies that leave the country annually, there is serious cause for concern when one just looks at pure numbers alone.
Just look at the US alone. They say there's about 125,000 plus approximately trophies leaving Africa alone. This is on the United States alone. It generates about 4 billion 250 million US dollars in South Africa alone. This is just South Africa alone. It's a mega market. It's a mega market. It's easier than done when dollars control the show. It's easier than done. Yes, there'll be people will protest, but money talks in the end. Yes, Africa is starved. Africa is experiencing famine, poverty. But this isn't the way to go. We shouldn't be selling our resources. We should be looking towards the future, protecting our scarce resources. And I think we'd rather protect conservation. Maybe like, I would say going to like, let's show off what we have. I mean, look at the Masai Mara, Kenya, Blue National Park. Let us rather show off to the world our what we have is our beauty, our majesty, our resources, and get money and coming in someday. We should rather focus on bringing an influx of tourists. I know tourism is struggle at the moment, but this is what we should be marketing. And we're selling at our resources, it's just going to hamper our progress in the long term. So this is just the USA I give you. And I can tell you now, if we have to go into Europe and we have to explore the ivory piles and we have to explore the rhino horns, we're heading in the wrong direction. In 5 to 10 years' time, I just see those numbers declining dramatically. Lion trade, in bones, tiger trade, it's just immense. It's just the tip of the iceberg, this one article. If we have to really study and go in depth, you'll be shocked at the statistics that you would find.
Yes. Now, also, Faisal, I see there's been a mixed reaction in Africa to this ban, because we know that there have been calls from certain areas for lifting of the ban on trade in ivory, for instance. But then again, we see other countries, like, for instance, in East Africa, saying that there should be a total ban on the trade. So it does appear as if Africa is responding with a mixed signals on this particular matter.
There's mixed signals on certain quarters. I know in certain places, when I see the lion was a few years ago, everyone was making a big war about why are we hunting. But, I mean, if you look at it, there are countries that have designed some very strong rules and regulations against it. They even set some strict examples. And other countries, like I've read up here on Zimbabwe example, are saying, no, this is a huge revenue generation for the country. And it's not based on proper research that it's actually going to erode. And it actually basically means the income that comes may use for conservation, which doesn't make sense to me. It's like using these reserves in South Africa, for example, these a lot of lion reserves around. They portray carpetting as a bucket list item, but instead those same lions are actually used for cane hunting. They grown and they become used for cane hunting. So it's a big cat that can't harm you. A hunter will go and shoot it democratically, and he takes the trophy home, basically. So we must just be careful what we support. This topic is very in-depth, it can be broken down more further. But for now, African countries are getting mixed signals. I think we need to have a united front going forward.
Yes, and just Faisal, just moving away from trophy hunting, just looking at Bush Explorers, and I know with COVID-19, the last 2 years have been very, very difficult, and generally we see many people coming from right across the entire world on safaris, coming to the game parks, just to view the wildlife. How is it going, or how is this tourist market been impacted by COVID-19, particularly looking at people coming and wanting to spend some time in the bush and just enjoy wildlife and nature generally?
It's hugely challenging at the moment. You just look at the fourth wave, for example. It's unpredictable to plan even like 2-3 months in advance because there's many tourists that have been blocked from coming in. So it's had a negative effect. I think the tourism market has been affected the most in South Africa. And the repercussions are still at the moment. That's why government is trying to prevent a complete lockdown. So with no tourism, we struggled. Look, alhamdulillah, we have many locals here started to support us just to keep us afloat. Many of the companies are just breaking even because the locals don't have anywhere else to travel. So alhamdulillah, that has kept us going. But definitely in challenging times. It's very unpredictable at this stage. This is why we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen the whole economy of South Africa and to let things return to normal. Well, we don't know what the new normal is at the moment. Look at the UK. They had this ban, they made people flock back, and now they took back their word. So people are sort of playing games. We just don't know which way to jump. It's really unpredictable. It's difficult to plan anything and organize anything. When this market is based on customer essential skills, proper planning, organization, but you just got to take it day to day, at this point.
Well, Faisal, Jazakallah khairan for that and for your time with us this morning here on Salam Media. We wish you well. We wish everyone at Bush Explorers well, inshallah. Allah make it easy, and look forward to obviously looking at follow-up interviews, because I think this is not the end of it. There's still a lot more that possibly will come out of this and this whole plan to ban trophy hunting from Africa. But for now, have yourself a great Jummah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Faizal Essop from Bush Explorers with us this morning. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back.